Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. We're continuing watching Loki. It's time for the Nexus Event, Episode 4, The Halfway Point. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey guys, it's Prague.
And this is DeLorean Wolfgang. Sorry, I'm
there was going to be a
on
quip
fumes,
or something.
fellas.
You're good.
I thought I could come in with a lot more energy, but that just did not happen, friends. But you know what? This was such a good episode of Loki. So excited to talk about it with you guys, even though it was absolutely spoiled by you, Prague, on your Twitter post.
What did I put
No,
up?
it was your Instagram post.
Instagram, okay. Well, for those of you that do follow me on social media, especially Instagram, I guess I spoiled it without realizing it because I don't understand how Instagram works. So the spoiler picture went before the spoiler post. So sorry.
What a jerk!
It was kind of a major spoiler too. It wasn't like a little one. It's like the big
dude. I'm like, what just happened? Did they just experience spoiler alert? No, I'm not. You know what? I won't do it because we're not at spoilers yet.
We can save that.
We'll save it. We'll save
Lo
it.
siento.
Lo siento. What does that mean?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Lo siento.
I think. I don't know. I did not do well in Spanish.
Nor did I. I failed that class so hard. Actually, I got the giggle fits one time in Spanish class, and I got in a ton of trouble, and I couldn't stop laughing. The teacher started screaming at me, and I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing. Like, it was one of those giggle fits where you just can't stop. Oh,
I've been there. Yeah.
It was pretty embarrassing. Oh, well. Now this is my life.
Pretty.
Don't dig a style banyo.
El Banyo. Y'all got a banyo around here? All right, let's get to the show.
Let's do that.
That's what you ask on Lamentus, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Excuse me.
I don't know if they're asking much on Lamentus. That place is
This Dunsky.
It's looking a little like Alderaan at this point.
Alder gone.
Oh, Prague. Ouchie.
All right, spoiler-free review time. Do this.
Right. If you're new, that's where the Secondary Heroes start. Loki episode 4 with spoiler-free, so that way if you haven't seen it yet, there's still time to back out now before you listen to our whole episode, where we're going to spoil it in a few minutes. But first, you have to know, is the episode worth your time?
Is the episode worth our time? Even though I kind of already said my spoiler-free?
You did.
You spoiled your own spoiler-free review.
No spoilers happening.
I'm so bad at this podcasting thing.
Getting out of hand.
Well, I might as well just start. Visuals, beautiful. Really liked this episode. I liked where it's going. I liked the dialogue in this episode actually a ton. It was really fun seeing some of the things. There was little pieces that I was a bit disappointed on that was like, Okay. But for the most part, it actually, like, there was a few questions that popped into my head for this that I hope to maybe get some answers out of you guys. So all in all, I dig this one. I've been really enjoying all of Loki so far. So that's where I'm at.
Same. I guess I'll go next because I usually go last. It seems. I think this was a great episode. I don't know if it was the best, but it was probably the most fun of the series so far. Like, there's just a lot of like really kind of big moments, big reveals, fun kind of set pieces and things that happen. And like you said, dialogue. The dialogue was a lot of fun. There are a few disappointments as well that I had, but they didn't ruin the show. It was just like, this is kind of where I wanted things to go, and it didn't go that way, which is also rewarding.
I wonder if our disappointments are roughly the same. I'd be interested because my takes are usually pretty different from you guys'. So yeah, I'm actually really interested to hear what you guys have to say in the spoilers.
We'll see. But yeah, just far and away, this show is fun. Even when it's not great, it's still fun. Like, it's enjoyable. You know, I'm not saying they're going, oh God, let's get through this episode or what have you. So far, this is kind of like the big one, I felt like. But who knows? There might be a bigger one coming up next week.
I sure hope so.
Yes. It was well done. Loved it.
Yeah.
Trevor.
I mean, there's nothing else different to say. This is like appointment viewing at this point. Like when you put it on, you expect it to be great, and it really is delivering week after. I'm really impressed that they can pull this off. They just make an amazing show. Like to Prog's point, it might not be perfect, but you
Right.
can still respect all that they're putting in and all the details that other shows would probably take for granted, and they're just nailing all this different things where I know the term, it's like eye guzzling or whatever, but when you put that on,
Yeah.
it grabs your attention for the entire 45 minutes. You're
It's
not distracted. You're
aesthetically
not looking at
pleasing.
your
Yes, it's
phone.
great.
You're just all in on what they're giving to you.
Well, and that's where I wish Falcon and Winter Soldier could have taken like some notes. Like if almost if like their production almost like chit-chatted with this production. You know what I mean? Where
I know,
they could have
yeah.
been, where Loki's production crew could have been like, that's what you guys are doing? You might want to rethink a little piece here or there. But dude, yeah, every second I'm glued to the TV, man. I'm loving it.
Yep.
Every miss minutes is great.
I did miss
no
minutes.
miss minutes.
I know. I miss minutes again. I always miss
That's
minutes.
so sad.
Oh, all you got to do is spend 2 minutes on spend 2 miss minutes on the internet, because she's the new Baby Yoda right now.
Yeah,
At
she really
least
is.
in my timeline, because she is everywhere.
Deservedly so.
Yes.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
She's
great.
fun. Yeah.
Who plays Miss Minutes? Is that
Tara Strong, I believe, is the voice
Yeah.
actress that's playing
Nice.
her. She's great. Yeah, she's always great. It's fun. Fun character. Can't wait to see
Fun.
what she's revealed to be.
She's behind. I don't
Oh.
know. Dot dot
Ah,
dot. Spoiler.
Hold on.
Oh my god, that just rose another question, and I love it.
We should probably get to socials before we get on to the spoilers.
Okay. Well, hey, you can check us out at crossthestreamsmedia.com for links to all of our social medias. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. You can listen to us over... Oh my goodness. You can also listen to every one of our episodes on the site, as well as leave a review. More exciting is our new voicemail feature, which you can be a part of our show, which we would love to hear you guys' takes. Please give us your hot takes. Give us what you think about this show. You guys listen to us every week. You might as well tell us what you think. And while you're over there on crossthestreamsmedia.com, check out some of our other sister shows from the Four Dorksmen, Movie Gap, Three Beers and a Mic, so many more. They add so many. It feels like daily at this point. But if you don't want to go through that, you can always find us on all of our socials at Secondary Heroes. We are at Secondary Heroes everywhere. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe, the bell button, the like, because that gets more people seeing us. And I don't know, we want to be famous or something. That's why we do this, right? Well, all of this is free for you, and it's priceless to us.
Oh, well
Did I miss anything?
No.
OnlyFans, I think, maybe?
OnlyFans?
Oh, that's just me. Sorry.
That's for the
Okay.
nudes.
That's Prog's. That's spoilers
Oh.
only.
Spoilers in your pants.
Hey, how'd you know?
Well, you are elderly.
Yeah.
It's- I guess it all depends.
Oh, there it is. That was well done. Well done. All right, let's spoil this. I've already spoiled my pants. Let's go spoil the episode. Let's do it.
All right, boys, where are we starting then?
Well,
I want to
luckily,
start. Well, yeah, go ahead.
we
Trevor.
can start anywhere we want because, again, this is how we do it now. We jump around to our highlights, our lowlights, secondary heroes, talking the Nexus event.
This
Oh,
is how we
Nexus
do
Event.
it. But I want to
How-
start at the beginning, actually, this time. Because
Ooh.
it's kind of fun. Because
Well,
we
because the
start
beginning.
Asgard, which is
You
kind of
got it.
fun, right? You come over the mountain and you see Asgard from behind. We always see it from the front. This time we
Ooh.
get Asgard.
Asgard from behind. Asgard's thick with two C's.
Yeah, that's a thick scene.
And then they show a little kid. So let's
mean-
get off that one.
Shout out to Asgard. Just we've seen it in Thor multiple Thor movies, and it's never looked as good as it looked in Loki. They went back with their CGI team and they redesigned Asgard completely.
Yeah, it looks really
Because
great.
it's always looked so fake and almost like
Yeah.
the Emerald City in like the original Wizard of Oz from
Yes.
1939 or whatever. Somehow they haven't had better CGI than that for Asgard. It looked relatively realistic.
And then they added a lot of like real pieces too, like the mountain ranges and stuff. Kind of inserting that into it really helped, I think, too.
Right.
So I agree.
Yeah.
That was a really nice establishing shot for the episode. And then we get Judith Grimes, aka Sylvie, as our little protagonist.
AKA
Gets
Lady
kidnapped
Loki.
by the Variant Authority for reasons unknown. Why was she taken? Why was she a variant?
Yeah,
We don't
exactly.
get those answers, right?
They didn't really explain that, did they? Did they just kind of
No.
like they were like, okay,
Well,
we've got this
that's
little
her
girl.
question. That's what's driving her this
That's
whole
her big
episode.
question.
Oh,
Right.
yes, because she doesn't even know.
Yes. Why was she taken? And I think it's a good question. And I wonder if it's meant to be just the spoiler alert bad guy, I guess the bad woman, her kind of, a retort to her of like, I don't even care about you. I don't know why we took you. I don't remember, kind of thing, like
A Thanos thing of I
it
don't
is.
even
It's
know
a
who
total
you are.
Thanos thing. Exactly. It's exactly what it was. And it was great. But I also hope that there was a reason. Like, I hope that there's like a real reason that they're keeping from her. There might
Right.
not be, but I do hope there is.
Like,
So I think it'll
hope-
be interesting.
I want there to be something really big that like they were like, we have to capture.
Yes.
We got to John Connor this kid
Yes, exactly.
because John Connor, as he gets older, he's just gonna. Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, you've seen Terminator.
Destroy
I'm not going to
humanity.
get into it.
So yes.
Well, John Connor doesn't destroy humanity,
no, that's
does
true.
he?
That's true. I'm sorry. No. I'm the
He's
other way
trying to
around.
save humanity.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, they're trying to do the
Oh,
opposite because they're the bad guys. Sorry, my head was turned
Right.
around for a minute.
I like the John Connor analogy potential because I like that this episode starts by giving us a dual backstory. We get the judge's backstory plus we get Sylvie's backstory
True.
linked together.
It is
So
interesting.
here's the weird thing though is, Lady Loki or the Sylvie, she
Mhm.
gets away. She's able to steal the comm device and travel through time or whatever she's doing. She gets away.
Right.
Yet the woman is now the
Mhm.
judge. She's now one of the highest powers in there. Yet she had a variant get away, and that variant has been destroying things. How is this possible?
So that was my note. That was one of my big notes. Was that moment like, why wouldn't she be reprimanded instead?
Right.
But
She
my
would be
guess is
punished.
that she was put in this position as almost like, this is your problem, fix it. Like, you're going to be in charge of this now, so you get to be the judge and find out where this variant Loki is. And I don't know. That's my guess. I don't know.
Well,
Much more than
if
that.
it ties
It is
into
weird.
the whole core spoiler of the entire show, or it's not a spoiler, but the whole idea that Sylvie told Loki that all the people who work in the TVA are variants.
Mhm.
And then there's a point where Mobius says that, or the judge tells Mobius, work your Loki. And he says, oh, that should just be my mantra. It seems like every time Mobius has been, like, he works on Loki's. That's his thing. No matter what variant he is, he works on Loki. So it could be that the judge, every variant of her, has to make up for this mistake.
Yeah. That could be true.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know what that was about. But I like
Sorry,
that.
I'm like
idea,
trying to
Trevor.
comprehend all of that now.
Well, it's interesting because the judge, I mean, we're going to jump around. What we find out that the timekeepers, we get to see the timekeepers before the introductory title card. And I was surprised that they actually, when they went up, I thought they were going to show this cloudy room and then we were going to pan to the title screen. I was surprised they actually showed their glowing red eyes and that she was going to actually talk to him. But we find out at the end, there's no one to actually talk to.
But
So-
okay, when they originally show the timekeepers though, wow. They actually looked really cool. Like from far
Yeah.
away. Not when
Right,
they
from
got
far
up
away, it's
close.
kind of a
When they got
cool
up close,
look,
they
right?
looked like garbage.
Which is at the point, right? It was supposed to be like, oh, obviously they're fake now. But like that
Yeah.
first establishing shot, you're like, oh, that's kind of ominous and cool looking, and
Yeah.
very Tron Legacy. I enjoyed it.
Sorry, I totally interrupted you to make my little point that didn't really matter. So,
No, but so I mean, if we know now that the timekeepers are just robots, and the judge is suspicious through this entire thing, and at first I thought she was just a figurehead, but
Right, same here.
if she's cognizant that they have been robots, how high up actually is she on the relative chain of command? If she's fully aware that they've been robots, how many decisions does she actually make in this whole process?
And is she, in cahoots with the person, like she is in the comics? So I don't know.
And this arises another question for me: is if these timekeepers are robots, are there actual timekeepers? Like, is there like, you know what I mean?
Spoiler alert! No, there's not.
Really?
No.
Like, the way that I looked at it was very much a Wizard of Oz moment where it's okay, who's the guy behind the curtain?
Yeah, that's
it's
exactly
actually
what
Gal, and it's Miss Minutes. She's behind the whole thing.
Yes, it's definitely Miss Minutes. I agree. I like it.
Okay, so that's where we're going.
Can you
All
imagine
right,
she
everybody.
becomes like 10 times bigger?
Write it down.
Bring things down. Well, howdy, y'all. Have a nice day.
That would be hysterical, dude.
They should make a variant extension episode where that happens regardless. There's some version of the timeline where that actually happens.
I could do
Where
this all
her
day.
and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man both grow giant.
Anyway, I do think that she is in cahoots. I don't think that Renslayer is the main person, but definitely in cahoots with some other entity that will make itself known probably the next episode, most likely. And then they'll fight that person, the final episode. So.
Oh my goodness, we only have 2 episodes left.
That's it.
It goes by so much quicker than other shows where you're like, oh my god, we still have 2 episodes left.
Well, we actually look forward to this show. Like, this is something.
I want to know what's happening next.
Oh crud! We're gonna have to come up with a new episode or a new show after this.
Let's not worry about that today.
So,
okay.
Savor what we have today.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
live in the
you're right.
moment.
You're right.
Oh my gosh. So like this doesn't come along very often. We got to savor it while we can. So just a little thing though in that scene where Sylvie takes the temp ad. I kind of felt like that scene was paced weird. Like maybe they had like a different assistant director on camera that day or something, but like it just felt like that whole little moment was paced weird. Like why didn't she just like run up to her really quick? It just felt like it was very dramatic and drawn out to me. I don't know if it was just me. It just felt like
I think it fits with how devastating they made it. Like we saw Loki go through those different like 3 things where he has to go through the scanners and all that stuff. When they showed as a little kid, it shows how cold and distant the TV actually is when they treat a little kid. Like treating Loki, who we know tried to take over Earth and be a ruler, that's one thing to treat him terribly. But a little kid who we haven't seen do nothing wrong and just make him
playing with a boat.
They made it as scary as possible for her and as intimidating as possible.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not talking about that scene. I love.
No, I wonder if that goes with it for the drama to like build up, because I do know what you said about the pacing of it.
I think you're right. I just think it was executed awkwardly. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a static cam, like it was forced way too up high. The camera work, it was just kind of, I don't know, weird to me. Like if you're ever me and that kid like stomped on my foot, I'd be like, give me that. I would run over to her and grab it. She just like stood there and took it and like looked all, disheveled. Like it should have been after it. Like she should have ran through that door and she'd been like, oh my god, I can't believe I let that one get away.
Yeah.
That was it. That's pretty much what my only
I agree.
things. That was about the only really big note about this episode that I didn't really care for.
Oh, really? That was.
Yeah, I had other things I didn't care for, but they weren't like, oh my god, like that was pretty jarring compared to the rest of the episode. I was like, oh, that was out of place.
Yeah, the timekeepers for me was the most disappointing thing. After we saw them the first time, and you see those glowing eyes, I'm like, oh man, that looks creepy. Like it looks so eerie. Like I'm feeling like you get the like Bill and Ted vibes where he's seeing the.
Yes.
So okay, so you got that too.
Oh yeah, I think that it was a direct homage. I'm sure it had to be.
Okay.
It was too goofy not to be. They were trying
like,
to be
the glowing eyes, just like, I don't know, there was something about them that looked so cool.
Sure.
And then when I found out that they were robots, I'm like, well, this is stupid. That just ruined it for me.
Robots. That wasn't a surprise to me. I was like, this is it. Here we go.
Right, but did you read the comics? Like, is that a thing in the comics?
No, I have no idea if there are robots in the comics or not. I just had an idea coming with this. I'm like, they're totally gonna do Wizard of Oz. Like, I can tell. They've already did it through all of WandaVision, and they've already kind of hinted at it a bit here. And then when she walked in that room the first time, and there was like fog in the air, I'm like, oh my god, this is just like that throne room from Wizard of Oz. This is totally gonna be that situation. They're gonna be robots. I'm like, yeah, they were.
She's the Wicked Witch of the East, bro. She wears a crown and she comes down in a bubble, dog.
Okay, I know what you're doing.
That's the funniest thing on. It makes me laugh every day. Go check out our social media because I posted it all over our social media. It's hysterical, and it gets, I believe it gets, Prague's blood boiling.
It's pretty good. It was pretty good. Well done.
Let's get back.
It's pretty good. But so if we're talking about disappointments, the biggest disappointment for me was the ending where Loki's talking to Sylvie and he's specifically positioned in a way that we've seen on film thousands of times. And I'm like, he's going to get stabbed in the back. I'm like, why can't they? I'm waiting the whole time. I'm like, just stab him in the back already. I did think it was going to be a sword rather than the thing that disintegrates him, but still, just I don't know why they couldn't make it less obvious. We've seen that camera angle too many damn times where Sylvie just punched the judge in the face. She didn't for some reason, she got rid of everybody else. Specifically, I'm going to leave her alive just for...
And then steps over her.
I don't know. I was just so disappointed. I kind of like, I was enjoying the whole episode, and I'm like, oh, damn it. I know what they're going to do. But the bonus scene brought me back from being pissed about that.
Okay, good.
Which, thank you, Prague, for mentioning on social that stick around for the bonus scene, because I might not have.
I didn't. I usually don't. I usually don't sit through them because I'm like, they usually don't. It's going to be the next episode. I didn't expect it this episode. I'm like, it's definitely going to be the next one.
Well, after we've watched 3 episodes before this and there was no after scene, it was almost like, I could probably go without sticking around to the end. But I'm glad you said
left it on because I was calculating. I'm like, what are they gonna do? That like after they stabbed in the back, I knew they were. So it gave me extra time to think about it. I'm there postulating. I'm like, the show is called Loki. It doesn't have to necessarily be Tom Hiddleston based.
Right. That was my thing too. I'm like, okay, we're getting rid of Loki now. This is gonna be the new Loki going forward. But then I remembered, no, wait, we still have like footage from the trailer that hasn't happened yet with him.
Yeah, and so I was sitting there like, how are they gonna bring him back? Where exactly did he go? Are we resetting the timelines? What are we going to do? And then we get that bonus scene, which we might as well talk about. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It was too quick. I had to rewind it and pause it.
You want to watch more?
I wanted to... Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't want them to just end it right there. I'm like, no, show me
such a good tease to show what's going on.
I had to look it up online. I was like, okay, who are these guys? Why do I care? Why am I losing my mind right now?
Even if you don't know who they are, you know they're Loki variants. Like, that alone should make you excited. Yellow. They could be anybody they want. Like, that's funny.
Is this hell? It can be. Such a good line. And then you have the kid Loki who has the alligator. Then you have the Loki who has the original comic style, but he's old because it makes sense since he's from the 1960s. Yes. And then you have Loki holding the hammer.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And
so I had to look up who these guys were. Do you guys know who they are? Well, he explained what they looked like.
No, that's who they are in the comics.
No, but that's not their names. They have names.
They're Loki.
Kid Loki was probably the only. Kid Loki. He said old Loki from the comics because he's from the 60s. He didn't give him a name.
All right. Anyways, the more important thing than that is he's played by Richard E. Grant, which is fantastic because that guy is amazing, and he just fits that costume so well with the whole old dad bod looking posture, everything. Fantastic.
I like the alligator.
Oh, alligator's great.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Dude, that alligator
Little
is so
horns
sick.
on his head.
I'm gonna look up the names real quick.
All right, you go do that. Look up Loki for me.
Loki's actually named Loki. Okay, cool.
Hold on, let me grab a quill and a paper. Loki. His
No,
name.
they have names. It's like
I know. I'm
barbarian
joking. I know.
You guys, are you just being mean to me right
A
now?
little bit, Loki. I'm Loki being mean to you. Yes. Sorry.
You're Loki being. Oh my god.
Enchantress.
Yes.
Enchantress. Oh, I could say that 1,000 times again.
And I can't wait to meet the rest of them the next episode. So.
Do you think that they're going to introduce more than just those 4?
Well, remember at the end of episode 3 where we were like, what are they going to do to save them? I didn't think their saving was that they would create a Nexus event by loving each other. That was not on my list of how they would get off of Lamentus. But I was hoping they would introduce more Lokis. And so now we're going to get more Lokis.
Yeah. So it works out.
How could you not like that?
So that does raise my questions, is what is the TVA after? Are they after something bigger than just correcting a timeline that may or may not exist within our reality? But are they looking into like this idea of good versus evil and what is love? Like it seems like those are the themes of this show. And when Loki was pretty much falling in love with himself, it was like, oh my god, there's your Nexus event. Like why is that such a big deal? Like why is that creating such a huge variance in the time stream?
Yeah, what are they looking at? Because they all admit that they've never seen a branch that severe, that extreme. But yeah,
what's up? Like something with whoever's behind the curtain, like really wants Loki to be bad. Like really wants Loki to be bad and fail. Like,
well, there's also they say I think B-15 says it. What are the Lokis doing? And she says, plotting their next massacre. Like there's a perception within the TVA already that he is evil, or that Loki is always evil regardless. They're literally plotting their next massacre. It's like an assumption, like, of course, that's what they're doing, when that's not what they were doing at all. No, we saw real what they were doing.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're like, we need to find a way to get out of here and survive. They weren't worried about trying to massacre this planet.
Yeah, so, the TVA has all kinds of ulterior motives. Just the whole thing, because so in this episode, it's also Mobius coming to terms with Loki. Like at first, he's super defensive. He's pretty much attacking Loki and super angry at him. But he finally comes to terms with it because he goes and talks to the judge, and he realizes everything she said may not be truthful, and this all comes down to C20, who the judge says, she declined to such a point that she deceased, where she couldn't even speak, and then she just unraveled a lot. And so he goes and steals the judge's little pad and watches the actual film and sees that's not the case at all. For some reason, when Sylvie enchants them, it draws out their original memories, and it comes to that realization, and it's really, it makes the TVA look like the most evil corporation around. They're essentially stealing people and making them slaves that are not even.
It's 1984. It's pretty insane and it's creepy.
It's also what Wanda did too.
Yeah, same thing, right? Waking them up from their own reality. Like, oh my god, they had a whole life. There's a lot of tie-ins to WandaVision in this episode. Like that symbol behind the timekeepers looked like a ruin to me. I mean, it's a cool design, but it's a ruin. Like it's actually a legit ruin. So, who cast that rune in that room?
Oh my goodness! I'm looking at a picture right now, and there's a ruin symbol behind them.
Right, that's the rune symbol. And remember, no one can cast magic in this space. And who can't cast magic in a certain space? The witch or wizard that didn't cast the runes, right? It's the only person that does who can. So that explains why neither one of them could ever use their magic in that area.
Oh wow!
Yeah, crazy.
Well, just to slide backwards just for a second, they do have names: Classic Loki, Kid Loki, and Boastful Loki. Boastful Loki was the name I was looking for. Sorry.
So those aren't exactly names. Those are more descriptors.
Well, no. Boastful Loki, that was his name in the comics. I read about him after I watched the show, and that's how he was named, was Boastful Loki. But also, I'm looking on, this is cnet.com. They've got an article about it, and they call the alligator a crocodile, which is idiotic because that's clearly an alligator and not a crocodile. Anywho.
And so, speaking of different species, one point I did want to mention is Mobius specifically says we've brought in Kree, Titans, and vampires. And so we know about Kree and Titans, but vampires is a funny one. Like, we know Blade is coming, but I love when they just set it up as a throwaway line where he's just, it's the third thing. It's not like Falcon saying, oh, we have, like, I don't know, cyborgs and wizards, whatever stupid acronym he came up with.
Oh my God, that's almost like the same exact thing, though.
No, it's not at all, because it's not an acronym.
No,
He's talking about experiences that we've had to go through.
Right. Well, so what about that Jared Leto movie that's coming out where he's a vampire?
Or he's Morbius rather than
Morbius.
Mobius.
I kept thinking of that the whole episode too. I'm like,
Same
that's
with me,
weird
man.
that he's Mobius and he's going to be Morbius. This is weird.
So do you think that Mobius is in this land of other Lokis now? Like,
Oh yeah,
what?
for sure.
Okay.
He's going to be stranded. He's going to have to find Loki, or all the Lokis probably, and try to get them all together to help him
Okay, good.
take down
'Cause
TVA.
You can't get rid of my dude Owen Wilson. That guy's just
he's not
far too
dead.
good.
I mean, in episode 3, we talked about the bickering part between Sylvie and Loki, how that was the part that was really off. As soon as Owen Wilson came back, the bickering is just spot on in this episode because they're
It was so
angrier with each other, and it's just even better when they're bickering at each other. And I'm like, this is how you do bickering.
Yes, it makes sense. It flows.
Yep.
There's a flow to it.
And it was funny. It was
Yes.
great. And it was
Are you
heartfelt.
going to give me
too at
some
times,
folksy dope lines about something?
right? I love this. Our little tete-a-tetes. It's a lot of fun.
And
But you
even
gotta go back
talking
and-
about we're in our own time loop, how we have to keep
Right.
talking.
Over and over.
So good.
Alright.
He really makes the show so much better. Like if he
Yes, he
wasn't
does.
in this show, he's just so good.
Oh, I mean, it's obvious that everyone got really upset when he got pruned. I mean, I knew like for a brief second, I forgot that like he probably is going to be in the rest of the show. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he just did this.
See with me, I
was
lost
so
my mind.
mad. I'm like, no.
I was so
I'm like,
mad. I'm
wait.
like, wait.
No,
wait,
I know.
wait,
My
wait.
girlfriend gasped, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second, hold on. I didn't think about that. I was so lost in the moment, especially because of Loki's reaction. He's just like really hurt. I was like, oh my God.
But isn't that so cool that like that this show has actually like given us emotions?
Yeah.
Well, I
he's a
thought the
great
most
character.
brilliant idea is to come up with variants to begin with, because that way you can kill characters all the time and there's no repercussions at all. It's the best
Actually-
idea as a writer.
Yes. It's really great. It's genius. No stakes ever.
Ever.
Yeah, Mobius was so good in this episode where he was literally getting under Loki's skin saying, you're playing checkers and I'm playing chess. You're like flipping over the checkerboard.
Yeah. Yeah. Owen Wilson is the master at whispering. Like he can enunciate in whispers so well.
Yes. Yep.
Like I don't think I know of any actor that can do that. It's fantastic.
The incredible seismic narcissist. That they should make a shirt that says that.
I am an incredible seismic. I
What
love
a throwback
myself.
to the first episode where he says we should make a shirt out of that.
Yep, exactly. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll end on that moment. So. Yeah.
So did you guys have like a favorite moment of the whole episode?
Other than the final tease,
Yeah, other than the after credit scene.
probably the Ryan Johnson directed Last Jedi throne room scene recreation. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of
Where
fun.
they were
When
all
when they were fighting together and like back to back and punching people, and it was blue instead of red. It was cool. I really like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's a shot for shot remake, I was like, that was cool to see. What about you guys?
Trevor, you got one?
I think when Loki finally yells at him that you're all variants, and then he's being taken away back into seeing Lady Sif, and he's like, oh, this whole place is built on lies, and I mean the lies you tell yourself. because Loki's pretty irate and like screaming the whole time, and then he finally feels defeated that he can't get through to Mobius, and just that dismissive line. It's delivered really well, and it's very cutting.
That got to Mobius. He's like,
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
So
Planet X.
for myself, it would probably have to be back on that planet where they're actually. So, oh man, this is hard for me because a little piece of me really, really loved the visual of it all, but watching it, knowing like science, a
I
little
know.
bit of science.
I did the same thing. I had to let it go. I'm like, don't think science. Don't think science.
I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there watching these like Texas-sized boulders slam into this planet, and it's just going poof, poof, poof. Yeah, if that was to happen, it would almost be an instant like incineration of the entire world right there. Yep. So
not necessarily. It depends on the gravity of Lamentus, which we don't know.
Yeah,
well, sure. I mean, they're running around pretty solidly.
Who knows?
It's not like they're wearing moon boots or anything.
They're also magical entities.
Anyways, what were you trying to get? What was your point?
Oh no, I think the visual alone, and I like I like the fact that Loki was falling in love with himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it's clever. It's funny, and I love that Mobius brings it up, saying you're such a narcissist. You fell in love with yourself. Like, I don't know. I just found that to be.
Well, it begs the question: if you met a female version of yourself, or whatever, if you're same sex or whatever you're,
I'd be so hot.
Yeah, like, would you have any connection with yourself, no matter about your sexual orientation? Because it's just essentially it's just a kink.
Could be, or it could be the idea of self-love as well, which is like what I think the TVA is trying to look into, and that's what causes this event to happen on the timeline. That's what my takeaway is. I think there's so much that they're investing into the idea of love. I mean, they had an entire last episode devoted to that topic, so they're very interested in this, and I want to know why. Like, what is it about love that they're so interested in? Especially this idea of self-love, like loving yourself. Like, what is that about? There's
also the juxtaposition of how awkward it is between Mobius and the judge when they have that right before he steals the transponder. She's lying to his face and says, "Oh, I wanted to protect you. That's why I couldn't let you interview Sylvie because she's so dangerous. And we have a friendship worth fighting for." Right? Yeah, exactly. It was super awkward. Like, she doesn't even know what friendships even are.
Very strange. Sums up with her more so than what we saw in this episode too. So, sus.
I don't know. It's funny because I sit there and I see the relationship between Mobius and the judge, and I'm like, I personally liked it because they seem like actual friends. Like I could see their friendship. I don't know.
I think it was purposely trying to show you they don't have a friendship.
Yeah, I was seeing it more as Owen Wilson's character Mobius being kind of a sad sack, like just being duped by this person. Is how I saw it.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to rewatch it then.
I mean, they're such good friends. She's the one who disintegrates him. That's friendship.
Without thought. It was
she didn't even think about it.
You, as you're watching it, you see her like, bringing him down and whatnot. But when they are just kind of like, almost off the record type of thing, they seem like they genuinely enjoy each other. Like,
sure, think about the time but she has variants. I don't think she cares because she knows she has another variant of him out there that she can use. It's like, well, okay.
Interesting. Yeah, I never really thought about that.
He doesn't know that. Only she knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing that I was thinking about that kind of, this could be a total reach and a stretch, but when people get pruned, it almost kind of resembles after the snap from Thanos. Like it has that same, like, they disintegrate into a dust sort of thing.
Yeah.
It almost makes me feel like, is this something where they can come back?
They don't need to come back. They're not gone. It's just a variant.
Right.
If another
It's
version
just
of
a
you
variant.
exists and they're gone, you still exist.
Yeah, but I'm
Not worse for the
there
wear,
with
also.
this universe. They have their own universe. Like, they don't know I exist. I don't know they exist, but they have their own universe. So now they're gone in their own
They
universe.
don't have their own universe, though. This is pitching the idea that there's only a singular timeline.
Yes, that's what's happening.
They
Exactly.
don't have their own universe.
Then
They
why-
even
Whoever
have
is
a
doing
place.
this,
How
yeah,
can there
whoever's
be
doing
multiple, hold on. How can there be multiple Morbiuses or Mobiuses if there is only one timeline,
They
one
break
universe?
out of the timeline, and then
Yes.
that timeline ceases to exist, and that variant is pulled out of the timeline entirely. The variant only pops up when a fork happens.
So you're kind of almost right there, Alex, in a way, but like that timeline really only exists for like nanoseconds before they come in and be like, "Boop, you're out of here."
Yeah,
And
it
correct
doesn't. He doesn't lead off his whole life, and
Yeah, it's not like
everything.
he has like, hundreds of years living on some planet and having children and all these things. But that's what they want, right? Like that's, kind of the idea. They're trying to prevent that. Whoever is doing this timeline stuff is trying to prevent the idea of a true multiverse. So that begs the question, what is this place that all these pruned variants are going to? Is it a holding
'Cause-
cell? Is it
Yeah, they're going to someplace.
some place that has the Avengers Tower decimated in the background, which is interesting.
Is it the purgatory from Lost? Is it all this connected? Probably.
Oh,
I'll be
dude,
lost.
if we had bingo squares, Lost would be in there.
He surely
Like,
shows up.
Lost
He's not like,
gets mentioned every episode.
Well, Lost is connected to Wizard of Oz, so it's all ornately connected. It's fine. But speaking of other references, there's the point where I'm gonna take Mobius plus the variants to go see the Timekeepers. I was like, well, they're just gonna take them up. It's gonna be like a Men in Black. They're just gonna wipe their minds and stuff. But instead, she purposely wipes his entire existence. So that was a little extreme, I thought, but it was funny.
yeah.
Wait, what?
The judge is gonna. She pitches to Mobius that I'm gonna take you and the variants to see the Timekeepers, and I'm like, why would she do that? So my thought was that she was just gonna erase them, but then Mobius decides to play his hand while there's all these guards around instead of keeping the ideas to himself and just spills it all. And she's like, "Damn, dude, seriously, you're gonna go off the crazy train right now."
Oh, and then that's where she zaps him.
She's like, your variant has done this probably 150 times by now. I thought you were different, but you go into the same damn point, disintegrated.
Exactly.
I wonder how many times she's disintegrated Mobius at this point.
I know, right? It's like, here we go again. It's another Tuesday here at the TVA.
He always figures it out. Damn it.
Yep.
That's what happens when you get a good detective.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta be prepared for that. So, I guess she wasn't this one time. But anyways. What else we got for this episode?
Well, the one thing that I really did enjoy was the little transponder, whatever. What is the little disc thing? I actually loved how that's
called. Oh,
what
it's
is
fantastic. A temp pad.
Temp pad.
Like a temporal pad, like a temp pad.
Oh, gotcha. Tracking.
Nice. This one.
I actually really liked the look on the screen. Like, it's so like 70s, such a retro look with the video that was in there.
I wrote down on my notes that it looked like the LucasArts games from the 80s and 90s. It had that look and feel of like Curse of Monkey Island and Indiana Jones and the Curse of Atlantis, I think. Like all those LucasArts games like kind of had that look to it. Like I don't know what you would call it, 8-bit kind of like automatic look.
It was like an 8-bit, but like still applying like actual video into it. Yeah, rather really cool. Than like a little plumber bouncing around.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was cool because you can see the shine off of her shoulder pad at one point when she like leans forward, and it still had like the 8-bit look, which is really fun. The analog look to it.
Cool. I love it.
It was.
Love that.
And a little like thumb device that he keeps spinning back and forward.
Now that reminded me of Black Mirror.
Yes, it's a very Black Mirror-esque
where he was
device.
doing the thing with his eyeballs. Oh, that was wild.
Did you cheat on me? What? Yes. very Black Mirror. But it's a great looking device. Hopefully they make a replica soon, so I can buy.
Man, if only I knew someone who worked in the department. What department is that? Crafts, not crafts. Oh, what's the department where they
Arts and crafts.
The
Arts
and crafts department for the Marvels.
You just show up at Marvel Studios and say, I'm here for arts and crafts.
You show up with popsicle sticks and straws and stuff.
Well, there is. I
brought my own crayon set.
There's the art department and there's props. There's a few of them that are usually linked together. So yeah, props.
If only I knew someone in the props department.
If only. So.
Oh, well.
But I would also like just a replica that I can like use to like watch YouTube videos on in that way. Like have it like actually link up to an actual usable service.
Dude, you totally have that. It's called an iPhone.
I'm surprised they don't make that UI an app, actually.
There you go. Like
you can turn your phone into that exact UI.
There you go. Now we're on board. You know, somebody's sitting there working on it right now.
And so, why do you guys think that Sylvie can bring out the memories by enchanting people?
By intention? Intentions?
Interchangeable? Intentional? Huh? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's a really cool power to have. Like, Loki can't do anything for that. Sylvie, that's like a very valuable. And like in fighting the TVA, Loki's magic doesn't really have much value, but hers is absolutely perfect because you have to destroy it from within. She's been on the run in these apocalypses for who knows how long, and this is like the core thing to mess with everything.
Yep.
Convenient power.
It's very convenient.
Well, and it's convenient that she shares the same power as Wanda or whatever. Sorry, man. My brain is like, I'm not fully here right now, man.
It's like you've been enchanted.
I've been enchanted.
And so also with B-15, when she's questioning her reality and before she kind of encounters, there's a poster on the wall that says, like, make sure you got all the variants or whatever. Yes, it also looks like Howard Stark.
It does, right?
Like, I know how you said that Owen Wilson looks like Howard Stark, and I want Mobius to just be a variant of Howard Stark.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be the best.
That would be a lot of fun. Wow. I can't do his wow. I can't. I'm sorry. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know. Sorry.
But also Wilson does a good impression.
He does. Yeah, well, no, Owen Wilson even did. He said how at one point. It did say it sounded like wow. So that was pretty good. This episode. I like that. How? Like, oh. Kind of got that. And what's the name of the you seem to know all the guards' names really well there, Trevor. I like this. B, C, D, F.
So C20 is the one that
got pulled into Roxmore.
Yeah, she's dead.
Okay. No, not that one.
And then B15 is the one who went to Roxmore.
Yeah. Thank you. So that scene was really cool because it was a direct homage to the Tears and Rain scene from Blade Runner. And what's really cool too about that scene is that she purposely brought her to an apocalypse because she knew that the TVA couldn't trace them while they had this secret conversation. Mm-hmm. She's like, perfect, let's go to the apocalypse that I know exists because I went there with you, and I'll have this conversation where you took my memories. Yeah, it was really cool. I like that scene a lot.
I really did, and that actress did a phenomenal job where she really brought out full emotion for the whole thing, which was, you could just see the devastation in her eyes, which was really amazing.
Since they cast her, she wasn't just going to be a guard that says get in line all the time. I figured there was some more.
True. Yeah, she had to have a bigger purpose, and that it paid off really well,
Wait, is she someone that I should know?
No, she's just been an actress in other things.
Like an actress, wait. I don't know.
She's in Lovecraft Country.
Don't think I recognize her. Never saw it. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Well.
Don't worry. Save yourself some time.
But anyways, it's cool too as a reference to Blade Runner. That scene works really well too because it's all about like what is humanity, who is it mean, what does it mean to be alive, to have your memories given back to you, and are your memories real, and all this kind of stuff. And I like that. It's a nice touch. Good to see.
Yeah.
And it was good to see Sylvie kind of break down too. Like she
Good touch
had
back.
to put up this this kind of this wall, to be like this, tough guy that the TVA have always branded her as, but she really kind of just broke down and empathized with them. It's like, yeah, look, I'm like you. Like, I am this person that was a variant that was taken hostage, and you were taken hostage. You just didn't realize it until just now. And she pleaded with her. She's at the end with Sylvie. She's like, well, then tell me what we do next. And that was to overthrow the TVA.
Or overthrow the
Did you
appearance of the
guys?
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to look into the comics behind any of this?
Not much. No. I know a few things. Yes, but no, I don't.
Okay.
I didn't look too deep into it.
This
I'm trying
show
not
is so
to this
good
time.
that
Gotcha.
I'm letting the
I'm just letting
showrunners
it
kind
happen.
of tell the story they have.
Right. Like, tell your story. Don't tell the exact story from a comic. Like, pull from it, sure. I can tell they're pulling from it. Because I know some of the characters, but that's it. Like, I don't know the full storyline.
That's what you were saying about, like, WandaVision is they were pulling
Right.
from the comic for that one. And I didn't know if maybe you had, like, any kind of references from, the old
Not
comic
really.
for this.
I was always more of an X-Men
Sounds
fan.
like that's a negative, Ghost Rider.
No, I was always more of an X-Men fan, which is why I read the stuff with Wanda, whereas Loki was not usually involved much with the X-Men. So anyway.
So, I mean, it's tough to talk about something
go.
that's really good. It's much easier to rip apart bad stuff. They did an awesome job, so it's just really about being excited about all the different pathways they could
And the
potentially lay out.
music,
So,
again,
yeah,
just phenomenal.
I think the way to wrap this up is, what do you guys think is going to happen in episode 5?
I do think that Owen Wilson's going to try to meet up with all the Lokis, and I think Loki is also going to try to get other Lokis, and they're all just going to meet together and try to take over whoever is behind all this. And then we're going to probably cut back to Sylvie trying to get answers out of Renslayer, and hopefully we'll get that reveal at the very end of who's behind this all and why. And I think the last episode then will be whatever the fallout is of that.
But I don't think much is going to happen in episode 5.
I think a lot's going to happen. Yeah. I don't know why, but I have a feeling there's a lot that's going to happen in the next episode.
Do you think there's multiple Mobiuses, or it's just going to be the one?
I don't know. I think it's just going to be the one. I'm sure there are multiple Mobiuses, but I don't think we're going to see them in this show.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if they were going to show them.
Right.
It would be
a lot
like
of people
that
standing around.
scene
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Look at you. Look like me. I look like you. Look, wow, wow.
You look really good. Yeah. Oh, you look really good too, man. All right. I think we beat this one up.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good one.
This is a really good
It was
one.
a good one. Yeah. So make sure you tune in. Watch it. Watch it again. See if there's
Tuesdays at
anything that you missed.
midnight. We only got 2 episodes left. Be sure to savor this, because who knows if Marvel, for me, Marvel, we'll see how they land Loki, but they're 1 for 3. So don't take this for granted. Don't be like, oh, the next one will be just as good.
True. You never know.
1 for 3. Oh God, 1 for 3. Yeah. Cool. Hey, I don't have anything else, so.
Cool. So be sure to follow at Secondary Heroes. Be sure to check out Loki, and let us know what you think. Would you make out with yourself? To everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you next time.
Prog out.
Adios, y'all.